Step into quiz stories where history's greatest mysteries come to life, one question at a time. On a foggy night in June 1962, 3 prisoners vanished from Alcatraz Island, leaving behind only whispers of their daring escape. Was this the perfect breakout, or did the treacherous waters of San Francisco Bay seal their fate? In this quiz, we'll dive into the secrets, the planning, and the clues left behind in the most infamous prison escape ever. Let's get started. 1. When Alcatraz opened as a federal prison in 1934, it was designed to house the most dangerous criminals. The island was chosen for this purpose because A. Electrified fences surrounded it. B. It had underground cells. C. Its location deterred escape. Alcatraz's remote position in San Francisco Bay made it nearly impossible for prisoners to escape alive due to strong currents and cold water. 2. Alcatraz became home to some of America's most notorious criminals, including mob boss Al Capone. He was sent to Alcatraz because A. He bribed previous guards. B. He ran operations in prison. C. He escaped another facility. Authorities transferred Capone to Alcatraz to isolate him from his criminal network, as he had been orchestrating operations even while incarcerated. 3. By 1962, Alcatraz had gained a reputation for being inescapable, but Frank Morris, Allen West, and the Anglin brothers believed otherwise. Frank Morris stood out among the prisoners because A. He had criminal connections outside. B. He was a locksmith. C. He scored high on IQ tests. Frank Morris had an IQ in the top 2%, which helped him devise the intricate details of the escape plan. 4. The escape plan required months of preparation and careful planning by the inmates involved. They managed to dig through their cell walls without being noticed because A. They bribed guards regularly. B. They used spoons and grates. C. They worked during storms. The prisoners used stolen spoons to chip away at their cell walls and replaced ventilation grates with painted cardboard replicas. 5. To avoid suspicion during nightly roll calls, the men created lifelike dummy heads to place in their beds while they worked on their escape. These dummies were made of A. Soap, B. Clay, C. Plaster. The men crafted dummy heads using soap, toilet paper, and paint for realism, cleverly adding human hair collected from the prison barbershop floor to fool guards during head counts. 6. Once they accessed the utility corridor behind their cells, they needed tools to continue digging through walls and vents undetected. They created a drill by using A. A vacuum cleaner motor. B. Hand-cranked drills smuggled in. C. Broken maintenance tools. The men ingeniously converted a vacuum cleaner motor into a makeshift drill to speed up their work on removing vents and widening openings. 7. To escape from Alcatraz, they needed a way off the island itself, as swimming across the bay was nearly impossible without help. They constructed their raft by A. Tying barrels with rope, B. Dismantling wooden furniture pieces, C. Stitching together raincoats collected over time. The men gathered over 50 raincoats and sealed them together using heat and glue to create a raft capable of crossing San Francisco Bay. 8. On June 11, 1962, after months of preparation, escapees made their move under cover of darkness. But Allen West couldn't leave his cell because A. He was caught during a head count. B. He decided to stay behind voluntarily. C. His vent opening was stuck. West had meticulously chipped away at the vent in his cell, but when the moment came, he realized the opening wasn't wide enough to crawl through. By the time he managed to free it, Morris and the Anglin brothers had already left. 9. As Allen West struggled behind, Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers pressed on, making their way to the roof undetected because A. They crawled through ventilation shafts. B. They disguised themselves as guards. C. They disabled rooftop alarms. The men accessed an unguarded ventilation shaft that allowed them to climb undetected to the roof of their cell block. 10. Once on the roof, they faced another challenge, reaching the ground without being spotted by guards in nearby towers or patrols below them. They avoided detection by A. crossing rooftops during guard shifts, B. waiting for fog to cover them, C. hiding behind chimneys and vents. The men took advantage of foggy weather that night to conceal their descent and movements across the roof. 11. After launching their raft into San Francisco Bay, they faced treacherous waters known for their strong currents and cold temperatures. The escapees were aware that A. the tides could reverse suddenly, B. sharks often patrolled waters nearby, C. strong currents could sweep them away. The waters around Alcatraz are notoriously strong and cold, posing significant challenges for anyone attempting an escape. 12. Authorities launched an extensive manhunt after discovering the escapees were missing, focusing on several potential locations for sightings. Investigators primarily searched A. nearby islands in San Francisco Bay, B. the mainland city of San Francisco, C. coastal towns along California's coastline. Investigators believe that if the men survived, they would likely attempt to blend into urban areas like San Francisco. 13. Despite extensive searches, no trace of the escapees was found initially. However, some evidence was discovered on Angel Island that included A. clothing remnants matching prison uniforms, B. personal items belonging to Anglins, C. a campfire indicating recent activity. Investigators found evidence of fire on Angel Island, suggesting that at least one of the escapees may have reached there after leaving Alcatraz. 14. In subsequent years, rumors circulated about sightings of Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers. One notable claim came from A. a fisherman who saw them nearby, B. an elderly woman claiming they visited her home, C. an ex-convict who met them in Canada. Over time, various people reported seeing the escapees. One woman claimed they had sought refuge at her home shortly after escaping. 15. The 1962 prisoner escape from Alcatraz Island inspired many films, including the critically acclaimed 1979 hit, Escape from Alcatraz. The escape ringleader, Frank Morris, was portrayed by A. Clint Eastwood, B. Paul Newman, C. Gene Hackman. Escape from Alcatraz received critical acclaim and was one of the highest-grossing films of 1979. 16. In the same year when movie premiered, an FBI investigation concluded that Frank Morris likely died during his escape attempt due to A. drowning in turbulent waters nearby, B. exposure to freezing temperatures, C. being swept out to sea. The FBI believed that Morris likely perished in the frigid waters due to strong currents and low survival chances for swimmers. 17. In contrast, John and Clarence Anglin's fate remained uncertain. Some believe they lived on due to reports claiming they A. successfully reached Mexico, B. used fake identities in cities afterward, C. returned briefly to families later on. There were persistent rumors suggesting that John and Clarence Anglin managed to evade capture by assuming new identities after escaping. 18. In 2013, a letter allegedly written by one of the escapees surfaced claiming he survived. It suggested John Anglin wrote it because A. he wanted urgent medical help immediately, B. he felt guilty about leaving brother behind, C. he wished to confess everything afterward. The letter claimed John Anglin sought help for health issues but remained hidden from authorities out of fear of arrest. 19. The authenticity of this letter has been questioned among experts. Some believe it is genuine because it contained details about A. events known only to family members, B. specifics about prison life in Alcatraz, C. John Anglin's medical history and treatments. Experts noted that certain details mentioned in the letter could only have been known by someone who had lived at Alcatraz during that time period. 20. Despite decades of investigation, Alcatraz escape remains officially unresolved. In 2016, newly uncovered evidence suggested that the Anglin brothers, A, may have sent postcards from South America, B, were captured and quietly returned to prison, C, were spotted on the US-Mexico border in 1963. In 2016, investigators presented evidence from a photograph allegedly showing John and Clarence Anglin alive in Brazil during the mid-1970s. Though the photo's authenticity remains uncertain, it reignited speculation that they had successfully escaped and fled South America. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey through the mystery of the Alcatraz escape. Do you believe the escapees made it to freedom, or did San Francisco Bay claim them as its final victims? Share your theories in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Quiz Stories, and hit the notification bell for more gripping mysteries and quizzes. Until next time, keep exploring the unknown and stay curious.